SummerfestSuits.com and sign up today.
Need to look your best for a special occasion? You need
the $100 hookup.
This incredible deal includes a marvelous suit, shirt, and tie, all for $100. Only at Nick Cavani's, home of the
$100 hookup.
And that isn't limited to some standard stock suit. You'll be pleased by the top quality and variety of fashion offered at Nick Cavani's. No matter the occasion, maybe you're just ready for a fresh, new stylish look. Get hooked up today at Nick Cavani's in Mayfair Mall and at nickcavanis.com.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
So Black women's leadership needs to be prioritized. That means a whole lot of things, but it includes a message for white women, which would be, it'll be wise for you to take our lead. We've already demonstrated everything there is to the world about who we are. We shouldn't have to keep doing that over and over again. The reality is that there are times when we got to muster up the energy to do some things we don't want to do. But I don't want that to be commonplace for me, and I certainly don't want it to be commonplace for other Black women. There's often this message that we need to stay strong because there are people depending on it. No, we need ourselves.
Yeah, you can't, what do they say? You can't pour from an empty cup?
Yes. And I even am hearing people say a lot more, you shouldn't pour from your cup at all until it overflows. And it's the overflow that you give. You keep the full cup for yourself.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute. You are listening to Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace, live from Summerfest, the world's largest music festival, on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
Yeah.
We are live here from Summerfest on Truth to Power on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Sorry for the technical difficulties. We are up and streaming now on YouTube. 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Give us a like, give us a subscribe as we're coming to you live from the Summerfest, the world's largest music festival on the lake. On the other side, I was having a conversation talking about the fact that President Donald Trump and his administration are trying to diminish the significance of Juneteenth. And I was talking about why I'm so bothered by this is simply because of the fact that over and over when I look up, every time I look up, I feel like everything we have is under attack. And even yesterday at Juneteenth, I think yesterday was a good sign of where America is, the temperature of America. And I want to say after 2021, after the murder of George Floyd, in 2021, we saw a significant amount of support shift in understanding that we live in a country that point blank is a racist, offensive country. And we have a lot of things where, African Americans and people of color, not just African Americans, people from the LGBTQ community, if you aren't a white, straight male or female in a lot of cases, you're treated a certain way. You're ostracized. And so in this country right now, what I'm seeing is a shift. When I looked at the crowd yesterday at Juneteenth, it was us. It was mostly black people, which I'm cool with. I'm very cool with. But it's interesting to see the shift from so many quote-unquote white allies who were supporting and coming to the event to not a lot of people coming to the event. It is what it is, but I think it's just showing the times. And I think it's extremely unfortunate that supporting black folks and supporting black causes and supporting great American history is something that's only temporary. It's only temporary with how somebody emotionally feels at that moment. And again, why it angers me so much is that this shouldn't be a race issue. This shouldn't be a color issue. This conversation, this celebration should be about what's right, about us truly celebrating a day that matters to everybody. And again, when I hear the White House press secretary get on air yesterday and asked about the recognition of Juneteenth and simply brush it to the side and talk about the fact that, oh, well, we're just happy you all came to work. That is a shot at us. It's a direct shot at you. And if you voted for Donald Trump or you support this Trump administration, regardless of what you look like, you should be offended by that. It's just infuriating and frustrating to see so many people still support somebody who clearly has nothing but so much hate. You talk about Project 2025. They said, oh, that's not a real thing. Matter of fact, Eric Hubney came on our station a year ago yesterday and said he didn't know anything about it. But if you look at the different things that the administration is doing, whether it's cutting diversity, equity, inclusion, whether it's, making people do loyalty tests towards Donald Trump, whether it's cutting diversity, equity, inclusion, what you're seeing is a lot of hateful things happen. And yes, when it comes to the immigration raids going on with immigration, with ICE, a lot of us ain't the ones under attack right now. I think it's coming because when the Haitians have to be up out of here, a lot of us do look kind of Haitian. Not all of us. I don't think I look Haitian, but I am black. What we have to understand is that they're going to eventually come for us, but we have to understand that this is a very white nationalist administration. To hear somebody praise folks from January 6th, to hear somebody praise Columbus Day, but then in the same vein, talk negatively on the day of Juneteenth, you know what that is all about. So, again, I think we all should be bothered by this. 833-212-1017, that is the Truth Talking text line. What is your response to Donald Trump trying to invalidate Juneteenth? Because that's exactly what yesterday was. Yesterday you saw the President of the United States invalidate Juneteenth and let y'all know that what your celebration was yesterday was a waste of time and it was absolutely worthless. Again, 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talk and text line if you want to chime in to the conversation for today. But again, that was something that was on my mind that I felt like I needed to share. But again, you can watch and stream us live on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Make sure you give us a like. Make sure you give us a subscribe. But Miss Lana Banana, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. What are your thoughts here on the fact that we are seeing the dismantling and destruction of Juneteenth happening right here in front of our faces?
Yeah, hello, Kyle. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
I'm okay, and I'm glad you did mention this because it does bother me because Trump need to just shut up with his ugly upside-down candy corn looking stuff. He just need to shut up because everything that black people do, black people including, and white people always have something negative to say because out of all people, white people, Mexican, Asians ones, we're the only ones that call each other the N-words in public. We down each other every time we see each other. We don't uplift each other. We don't say things. We don't compliment each other. And I'm tired of it. That's why I unsubscribe to this. That's why I unsubscribe to 101.7, because I'm just disappointed in the conversations that go on with the different hosts, with certain hosts, plural, and the chatters and the calling. For example, I'm sick and tired of Winky Blue calling us Negroes and he calling other people white and Caucasian and Mexican and all of it. It's time for that to stop. I'm tired of it.
Sometimes people do a lot of different things in order to get close to power. And for me, when I see a lot of these black conservatives, they do a lot of stuff in order to have power, to have persuasion, to feel liked, to feel connected, to have a voice, right? And that's what some of these people do. I can't speak for Winky Blue myself whatsoever, but I'll just say in my experience with some black conservatives, a lot of it doesn't come down to policies. A lot of it comes down to the fact that they just either want to be mad about something and go against the grain, or they simply just want to be able to get connected and have a voice. Because understand, if you are a black conservative, your voice, you have more of a voice. Now, will you get anything changed? Probably not. But you get a seat at the table because they're always looking for that token Negro.
That's exactly what it is, token. And then when you try to down black people just to get next to power, that's not power, that's weakness, because we are in power. We are powerful. That's the thing that these weak black people are not getting. And then, when I had said that I had a problem with the Juneteenth flag being red, white, and blue, Abstract Noir has some negative to say about that. He said it's always somebody who always don't like something.
I mean, all right. Well, I'm
just saying. We need to uplift our colors and the black people, and we need to put positive connotations to us. That's why people keep downing black people and don't want us to have our day, because they feel like why should we even have our day when we don't even like our own selves?
I feel you. I appreciate the call, Ms. Lana Banana. I appreciate you chiming in. I mean, you make some good points, but again, I just think this is another way of canceling Black history. When you're telling people that you don't want them to learn certain things in schools. In Texas, you have school books talking about how slavery wasn't that bad. We have to be woke and we have to stay vigilant, but we also have to be mindful of some of the things that are happening. You're living in a time right now where in the state of Oklahoma, the state superintendent, so we all voted for a state superintendent. Her name's Jill Underly, just had an election. The state superintendent down there is focused on politics more than educating the kids. They're buying Trump Bibles. They're making people learn about how the 2020 election was stolen, but they're not having a conversation about Greenwood that happened in, they're also not having a conversation about, Tulsa, the Tulsa riots that happened. Right? In the state of Oklahoma, you see an emphasis more to focus on an election, quote unquote, being stolen than talking about how communities and businesses were burned down in the Tulsa massacres. So we have to understand what this is. They want to get rid of Black history. Because they don't understand it, they want to get rid of it. Because they don't want to come to the terms and come to grips with the fact that, listen, history ain't always pretty. It's not. But we always talk about remember 9/11, and let me just be very honest. 2,000 people died in 9/11 tragically. And we should always remember 9/11. But damn it, 9/11 don't hold nothing to what happened in slavery. To think that we have to remember all these tragic days that happened where, white people were the ones impacted. But when it comes to Juneteenth, we want to act like it's some gimmick holiday. It's disrespectful. But 833-212-1017. You want to chime in on the conversation, please feel free to by calling in at 833-212-1017. You can also chime in on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. That's 1017 The Truth on YouTube. On the other side, we'll come back and we'll continue the conversation. And also, we'll discuss some stuff with Milwaukee Public Schools, because there's a big update with Milwaukee Public Schools that we didn't get to touch on yesterday because we were celebrating Juneteenth yesterday. But there is something that I want to bring up and highlight with Milwaukee Public Schools. But keep it locked. You're listening to Truth to Power live from Summerfest, the biggest party on the lake, the world's largest music festival. We will have more conversation on the other side.
More of Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace is next, live from Summerfest, the world's largest music festival on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
What's poppin', Truth Nation? It's your girl, Noni Juice, from my friends at Steinhafels. And the deals are heating up during Steinhafels summer sale. Start with 10% off the entire store. I'm talking living room, bedroom, dining, and so much more. Make your new room more affordable with Steinhafels special financing, and you'll get a $100, $200, or $300 MasterCard to spend later. But you better hurry, because just like summer, these sizzling savings won't last long. The summer sale, only at Steinhafels and Steinhafels.com.
Hey everybody, it's Sherwin Hughes, and I got to tell you about one of my absolute favorite places in the city, Mr. B's Privileged Lounge, located on the northwest side of Milwaukee at 8617 West Brown Deer Road. Mr. B's is your go-to destination for comfort food, an incredible drink menu, and live music that keeps the vibes going all night long. So whether you're winding down or if you want to turn up, Mr. B's has the flavor, the energy, and the atmosphere you've been looking for. Mr. B's Privileged Lounge, privileged to serve. This is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth for Axe Housing. Are you tired of paying a landlord rent when you should be paying yourself? Do you want to leave a financial legacy, or would you like to have a stable place to call home? Well, it's time for you to start on the path to owning your own home instead of renting. You can work with an Axe Housing coach, and they will teach you how home ownership can be a reality. Axe Housing has helped over 4,000 families in our neighborhoods. Many times your mortgage will be a lot less than what you're paying for rent. As an average Axe family who has been helped pays around $900 per month. No matter what barriers you think you're facing, Axe Housing coaches can assist you right now. An Axe Housing coach will help you create and stick to a plan and a budget and get you ready for home ownership. If you're not dreaming of home ownership by now, you certainly should be. Let's make it a reality with Axe Housing. Get started on a virtual orientation by clicking on axhousing.org. That is ACTShousing.org. Don't let where you are financially right now get in the way of your very bright future of becoming a homeowner. Axe coaches are here to help.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years. From their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee, their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design. Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 1017 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Nazir Spencer. The Brewers held off the Cubs last night in a wild one at Wrigley, winning 8-7 in Game 2. Isaac Collins launched a 3-run homer, Caleb Durbin added a 2-run shot, and Rhys Hoskins stayed hot with another solo blast.
The stretch, he stays the pitch. Ground ball left side, that could be 2 to second for 1. On to first, double play, ball game over. Trevor McGill gets it done, and the Brewers split the 2 games at Wrigley.
Milwaukee moves to 40-35 with the win. The Crew heads up to face the Twins Friday night at 7:10 p.m. The Pacers kept their season alive with a 108-91 win over the Thunder in Game 6. Game 7 of the finals will begin Sunday at 7 p.m. This sports update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
You are listening to Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace, live from Summerfest, the world's largest music festival on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
Off top, running out of socks, talk more than really be on.
Truth Nation, violence is a problem that affects us all, and together we can make a difference. This is why we are hosting our 3rd annual Truth Walk Against Violence, led by my boy Tory Lowe, on Saturday, July 12th, from Victory Over Violence Park down MLK Drive right to our studio at the 3rd Street Market Hall. Over these next couple weeks here, Tory will continue to speak with different politicians, community leaders about how we can better provide resources to stop the rise of violence. Also coming up on Monday is Mayor Cavalier Johnson will be joining 1017 The Truth. Will be joining Tory Lowe Monday at 2 p.m. for an interview to talk about how we as a community can come together to better support one another, but also better support the city to help curb violence. If you want to join the fight to stop violence, go to Truth Walk Against Violence. That's truthwalkagainstviolence.com right now. Just
she sent her location. I hit her at the trap in Decatur. She basic. Chop with the laser, get decapitated. Can't smoke, I'm on papers. Hold on, this my Jamaican. Love one. Want me dead, so I'm steady praying. Ain't no disrespect without retaliation. The hotel, I hit her in the basement. Text her later like I'm done with you. I got a situation, baby.
Bro, let me get her then. I'm a dogger out the switcheroo to the lion's den. Talking down my bro, got more heat than a frying pan. Gucci around my hair, wrap tight like I'm Taliban.
Like I'm Taliban, how we drop go. Lot of dreadheads, lot of chopsticks. Touch my y'all to get your top ripped. Don't ask the price if you know you ain't trying to cop.
You the type to look around but never cop. Ay, I'm the type to buy the store, make them restock it. Ay, beam on everything I own, I will not Miss Grizzly by my side like a pilot riding.
Yachty, I might stop rapping for this one reason. If the fans hear this doing 100 seasons in the hood, shooting in my Yeezys. Put angels on you who be playing like y'all demons.
Hating and faking, they playing on my death. I get a mother's deep penetration. This diamond choker for some reason, give me pure ventilation.
Years ago recognized it, but now all of a sudden does not recognize it. Who knows he even running the office? But then on top of that, his White House press secretary refused to even acknowledge it as well. But now I want to transition on talking about Milwaukee Public Schools, y'all, because here's the thing. When I talk about Milwaukee Public Schools, I'm critical, right? I'm very, very critical of Milwaukee Public Schools because if you're in the news for something bad that's not helping my people, then I definitely got to bring it up. And so also, with the bad comes some good. And when good happens, I feel like we should highlight that as well. Now, first things first, I want to say congratulations again to all the MPS graduates. I'm loving seeing on social media all the kids and all the babies walking across, and young adults, I should say, walking across the stage. You got thousands and thousands of students across the city of Milwaukee who are getting that cap and gown, getting that diploma, and heading to their very bright future. So we just got to continue to give them a shout out and keep loving them and keep giving them big ups and hyping them up because they absolutely deserve it. Many of these young kids are going to college where they're getting thousands of dollars of scholarships. They're getting free tuition as well. Many of these students have earned everything that they have gotten. Others are heading straight to their careers that they're going to go make money right away and they're going to start working. So I just want to make sure we continue to shower them with all the love, support, and continue to hype them up because they are our future. And I'm going to keep talking about it because I keep seeing the graduation happening, and I'm excited because MPS got a lot of high schools going through graduation, but I just want to celebrate these young kids and their incredible accomplishments and moving on to the next phase, next step in life of their bright, bright futures that they have. But also, in addition to that, we talked about MPS, and I spoke very loudly about MPS and their failure to turn in their paperwork on time. Now, the backstory for this goes is that MPS every single year, and just like actually not just MPS, every school district in the state of Wisconsin has to turn in financial paperwork to the Department of Public Instruction so the Department of Public Instruction can properly disseminate money and funds for schools each and every year. And last year, in 2023-2024 school year, MPS was late handing in the paperwork. And this year, again, MPS had a deadline of May 16th to get that paperwork in. They missed that deadline of May 16th. Now, last year, it cost them almost $17 million that they lost. This year, it cost them almost $25 million. They extended the deadline for MPS from May 16th to May 30th. They did not meet that deadline. Finally, this week, MPS, I believe it was on Wednesday, MPS officially announced that they turned in their financial paperwork and they are hoping to get their funds released. So I just want to say I'm happy to announce that they officially submitted that required financial reporting, and that is a positive thing for the city of Milwaukee, but more important, our students, because DPI currently is withholding $25 million in funding from MPS until they turned in this paperwork, and now they are on the right path to be able to get that $25 million. And again, that is a good thing for not only the city, but more importantly, that is a great thing for our kids. So MPS, thank you, but more importantly, a message to Superintendent Brenda Caselius. This is your one time, this is your one whoopsies. This is your one whoopsies that you get of not turning the paperwork in on time because you just started in March. So I'm not going to sit here to put the blame on you. I'm sure you did anything and everything that you could do in order to get this paperwork in time. So I'm going to allow for you to have a little bit of grace when it comes to you not getting the paperwork in time or overseeing the paperwork getting in on time because you came in during the fourth quarter and we were starting at the 10-yard line and you need to drive down for a game-winning touchdown. Hell, game-tying touchdown at that. And obviously, MPS wasn't in the position when you got here to get that paperwork in time. But this is your one whoopsies. We ain't going to give you no more grace. Get the paperwork in on time next year because we cannot continue to sacrifice funding for our kids because as a taxpayer here in Milwaukee that pays property taxes faithfully every single year, and a lot of these property taxes goes towards funding MPS, I don't want them to have to come to me for more money because of their failure to turn in their paperwork on time. So congratulations to MPS on getting the paperwork in on time, and I hope that they are able to recoup all $25 million that was being withheld from them. If they are not, don't be mad at the Department of Public Instruction. Be mad at the administration at MPS. They had multiple deadlines to get this in on time, and they did not get it in on time. And so whatever repercussions that come with not getting it in on time, we just have to take it and then hope for next year we get it in on time. But I better not be having this exact same conversation in 2026 about MPS being late to their paperwork. At that time, more heads need to roll. Just might as well outsource it because people ain't doing their job. But 833-212-1017. Again, that is the Truth Talk and text line. And we've had just quite a conversation for today, talking about Donald Trump, but also talking about MPS at this point. And on YouTube, you can watch the streamers live on YouTube. Reginald Jones, who looked fantastic yesterday at Summerfest, love everything he had on, said Dr. Casilius walked into a burning house. She most definitely did walk into a burning house, but she willingly walked into a burning house. It's not like she was in the burning house when it was on fire and she was trying to get out. She walked into a house that was burning, and she wanted to be the firewoman that was going to put the fire out. And so now we do have to give her an opportunity to put the fire out. For me, early returns on Dr. Casilius, I give her a thumbs up so far. It's tough whenever you got to make moves and you have to make tough decisions for people to be moved out of their position into different positions. But at the end of the day, if you know anything about the interworkings of central office here for MPS, it was overbloated. Had way too many people inside of central office. Way too many people doing multiple things at central office. Anybody that worked in central office knew they had a nice, cushy job. Knew it was multiple people doing the same thing and doing it slow. So change was needed. Again, it's unfortunate because people had changed with their job, or some people got to reapply for their jobs and may not get those jobs back. So that's a tough pill to swallow for many individuals, but at the end of the day, it's not about you as an adult. It's about we, the community, and it's more about these kids. And if you weren't doing right by the kids, and you might have been trying your best, but if your best wasn't good enough, you can't just stay around. That's just the bottom line. That's life. One day I may not be on this radio show because they may not think I'm good enough. And I may disagree. I may not like it. But if I don't have enough people listening, if I don't have enough partners that want to work with me, one day I may not be here. Many of you listening right now have a job that's performance-based. If you're not performing up to the caliber that you need to in order for the business, the corporation, the organization to be successful, they may look in a different direction and find somebody else that actually can uplift that organization. Right now, MPS did not have the necessary people in place to uplift the organization. We know that to be true. We've seen the results. Again, MPS has a lot of phenomenal students, but not enough. Not enough. And so it was time for change, and I'm glad Brenda Casilius came in and made that change. Now, the rumors that I heard is that she's trying to bring in her own people. And if she brings in her own people, they better be ready to get boots on the ground and better get ready to go to work. Because I promise you this, I will bring the fire to them if I don't see the results that we need to see as a community. But again, 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talk and text line. If you have any comments on the conversation today, go ahead and call in or text in. But we are coming to you live from Summerfest here on 1017 The Truth. And I'm so excited to be down here at Summerfest as we celebrate this great achievement of the truth just being in the mix of everything. But 833-212-1017. We'll take one call here. Al from Sherman Park. You're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. You're calling in to talk about black history and the fact that President Donald Trump and his administration did not recognize Juneteenth as a holiday yesterday. What are your thoughts, Al from Sherman Park? Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, I don't think he didn't recognize it. I heard he complained about too many federal holidays, but that's all I had heard.
Did he recognize it really quickly?
No,
Al, did you hear him? Did you hear him recognize it at all? The White House kind of recognizing, saying Happy Juneteenth at all yesterday, or no?
I didn't follow it like that.
I can tell you. I can tell you real quick, Al. They didn't. So if you don't follow it, I'll update you. They didn't.
Okay. I'm coming from a standpoint of a person who went to Harambe Community School and then went to Xavier University of New Orleans. So I've had my fill of education. And even in black schools, we cannot learn all of our black history in that time period. So I've learned more Black history outside of schools than I've learned inside of them. And one of the things that kind of drives me crazy when we talk about slavery in America, we ignore 1,300 years of Arab slave trade, which was the longest period of slavery. And the transatlantic slave trade was 300 years. And the Arab slave trade went on beyond the American slave trade or the European slave trade. We outlawed the transport of slaves into the U.S. in 1808. But
okay, where are you going here real quick, Al?
That we need, well, slavery was a part of the world. That was the way the world got labor, going back to Egypt. But let's put it in context. You know, sometimes I wonder if you begin the prep for the show looking for what's racist today, because sometimes racism.
No, not at all. Actually, I'll be honest, Al. I was going to talk about the $87 million that was going to get cut from the UW system, and then I was also going to talk about the fact that they're having a daddy-daughter dance. I forgot what state it is, but they're having a daddy-daughter dance in a prison, allowing for daughters to come dance with their fathers. Then I also was going to talk about MPS. But then when I was on social media yesterday, I was infuriated by the fact that I had to see a president talk about bringing back Columbus Day when historically, because I know you know history, historically Columbus never came here. He went to the Bahamas, and he was talking about celebrating Columbus Day. And so that's why I felt like it was important for me to bring this up, because what we're seeing is we're seeing them trying to black out our history and them not trying to highlight our history. So that's why. So no, I don't look for anything racist. Racist, offensive things just hit us in the face. And unfortunately, as you know, Al, as being a black man in America, unfortunately, we can just be going our day to day, and we just have to deal with racism every single day.
Well, let's kind of counteract that. Let's focus on the schools or making the trips to the Black History. I mean,
so how do we counteract when we've lost momentum as a community with people supporting us, and when we have because say what you want about Joe Biden. Joe Biden supported the black community and supported and helped raise the profile of Juneteenth, and now you have an administration that's trying to basically not even talk about Juneteenth. So if you have somebody at the top that has a very powerful voice and a lot of people follow him, if you have him trying to diminish the power of Juneteenth and the meaning of Juneteenth, and the White House press secretary, you know, not even giving a comment of saying Happy Juneteenth and saying I'm happy everybody came to work on this day, how can we fight something when we have the most powerful man in the country that got over 70 million people to vote for him and he has so much influence? How can we fight against that, Al? How can we fight against that? You help me.
Well, that's the problem. That's the problem. You're focusing on someone else celebrating you. You have to celebrate you. Like, in my house, I don't care about the 4th of July. Focus on the things that you like.
I care about the 4th
Talk
of July.
about the schools that are sending the youth to the historical black colleges this summer so they can make a choice to go. Talk about how you can get there and go there. Talk about the black cotillions. Talk about the positive
the
things
Black Botillion as well that takes place tonight. Shout out to Alpha Phi Alpha. No, the thing is, Al, but the thing is it's important because a lot of people are voters, and we have an election coming up next year in 2026, and I think it's very important that people understand the momentum that's shifting against us. There's many black, and thank you, Al, for calling. There's many black folks like y'all that voted for, you know, Republicans, thinking that the Democrats aren't doing enough. Well, guess what? The Republicans ain't doing a damn thing for you. Matter of fact, they're taking things away from you. Black women are being fired from these jobs that they quote unquote say are DEI jobs. Black women are losing their jobs. That's negatively impacting your community. You have schools across this country that have upper bound programs that are losing funding, and so kids who are first-generation college students aren't going to get access to go to those trips that you were just talking about, to be able to go visit HBCUs and be exposed to that. So that's why we need to talk about that, because while you want to talk about all the hunky-dory good stuff, I need to talk about the good stuff, but then also highlight the things that are negatively impacting our community. Because the bottom line is this. Let's be real. If Joe Biden was doing this, Al from Sherman Park will be calling into this show talking about all the negative things about Joe Biden. But because he allows for the conservativeness, and Al's a great dude, but because we allow for our politics sometimes to outweigh the greater good of society, this is what we end up. Somebody calling into the show saying, well, do you look for things that are racist every day? Hell no, I don't. I'm a very happy person most of the time. But 833-212-1017. This is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. On the other side, we'll wrap up the show as we're broadcasting live from Summerfest. Thank you to Al for calling in. Thank you to Atlanta Banana for calling in. And thank you so much to True Nation for watching and streaming this live. But we'll wrap up the show on the other side.
Don't touch that dial. Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace will be right back live from Summerfest, the world's largest music festival on 101.7 The Truth app, and streaming live on 101.7 The Truth on YouTube.
Truth Nation, this is the legendary Homer Blow, hoping you and your family will join me at the 31st annual Homer Blow birthday party for the kids on Saturday, June 28th from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Fitzsimmons Boys and Girls Club at 3400 West North Avenue in Milwaukee. The celebration is for children 2 to 13 years old. Admission is absolutely free. For more information on being a sponsor for this great event, call 414-248-4954 or email the Homer Blow Foundation at gmail.com. And don't forget, we'll have Kool-Aid, the red kind.
Why did Old National Bank decide to create this program?
You know, it was something that was near and dear to the heart of our chairman and CEO, Jim Bryant. Jim wanted us to do more in the African-American communities, more with minority-owned businesses. So he approached Roland Shelton, who was my boss in Evansville, Indiana, and said, Roland, we need to do more. We need to create a program that's going to allow individuals, minority-owned businesses, women-owned businesses to access capital a lot better than traditionally we've been doing. And so we created the Empowerment Loan Program 2 years ago.
And for those that are now leaning more into this conversation, what's the best way to get in contact with you as part of their interest in the Empowerment Loan Program?
I'm going to give you my cell phone number to the listeners. It's 414-687-7393. And if that doesn't work, feel free to reach me at my email, tracy.meeks@oldnational.com.
Tracy Meeks, Senior Vice President, Community Lending Market Executive from Old National Bank.
Need to look your best for a special occasion? You need
the $100 hookup.
This incredible deal includes a marvelous suit, shirt, and tie, all for $100. Only at Nick Cavani's, home of the
$100 hookup.
And that isn't limited to some standard stock suit. You'll be pleased by the top quality and variety of fashion offered at Nick Cavani's. No matter the occasion, maybe you're just ready for a fresh, new stylish look. Get hooked up today at Nick Cavani's in Mayfair Mall and at nickcavanis.com.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
After a crash with a semi-truck, everything can change instantly. At Gruber Law Offices, we have the knowledge and experience to make sure you're protected. And we're here to help whenever you need us. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
You are listening to Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace, live from Summerfest, the world's largest music festival on 101.7 The Truth app, and streaming live on 101.7 The Truth on YouTube.
1, 2, 3, ho!
For tuning in today, but before I let y'all go, y'all know I gotta tell y'all about Gruber Law Office. If you or a loved one is ever injured in an accident, do not hesitate to make one call, that's all. Here with Gruber Law Office, they will take care of you just like they took care of me. And what I love about Gruber, y'all, is this, is that when you make that one call, that's all, you don't have to worry about paying a single penny. Not a single cent comes out of your pocket until they win your case. Yes, until they win your case. So get with the winning law firm today with Gruber Law Offices by visiting gruber-law.com. That's gruber-law.com, or calling them at 414-276-6666. Thank y'all so much, Truth Nation, for calling in, texting in. I appreciate Al from Sherman Park. I also appreciate the call from Lana Banana. I appreciate y'all on YouTube. I appreciate everybody that texts in. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I hope y'all enjoyed this week of Juneteenth. I'm representing my boy Jordan Love because he is black greatness as well. Y'all have a safe and healthy weekend. Make sure y'all drink water. Make sure y'all stay cool. And make sure y'all come enjoy Summerfest. But Tory Lowe shows up next. Peace out. I'll see y'all next week. Love y'all, Truth Nation.
I don't want it so